There we go.
Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about automating lead gen because why not? I mean, we're living in an AI world, and ChatGPT 5, GPT 5 is about to be rolled out very soon. So I'm thinking, dude, I need to automate as much as I can in this world that we're in. Where do we start with this, buddy?
Yeah, well, Tristan, thanks for having us again here at Lone Wolf. You know, Leads are really the lifeblood of really any business. I mean, you have to have leads, and you have to have customers, and in our case, buyers and sellers to really drive what we're doing as your agent. So you have to use multiple methods of doing that. And so obviously for a long time and really forever, sphere of influence is probably the number one always driver of how you're getting your buyers and sellers. You're out in the community, you're doing all of the things that need to be done. And then there's also all the old tactics of door knocking and putting up flyers. And here's the 4th of July. I think I mentioned I'm a son of a broker, and I can remember for years and years going and putting American flags on the street, lining the streets ahead of 4th of July.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, with a little, little business card, little mini signs, and so right before the 4th, where everyone would line up for fireworks, I would go and put them in the yards, and so those, that's really how you get your name out and drive business. But with the modern age and the modern internet and the fact that 99% of home buyers and in many cases sellers as well start their searches or really leverage the internet for what they're how they're going to transact business. Who do they know? What do they do? And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about a new system that we're rolling out called Leads Plus, and it's actually live today. But it's almost like a done for you lead system. And so in kind of the today's market, and I'll just kind of move through, but that's kind of what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. In here, there's a lot of different ways to get and capture leads, and we talk about the Zillows of the world, and obviously that is really what drove their growth and rise to stardom, is having all of those inventory and having a place where people go and find those leads. But there's other ways, and there's other things that buyers and consumers take action on to show that their intent is to transact in the future at some point, and whether that's looking at what their house is worth, or looking at different things on the internet as far as new locations. So maybe they're searching for areas that they might want to move to or relocate. There's job changes. There's all these things that make consumers act in different ways. And so in this case, we like to use certain pieces of information to really help identify where you're going to to find people to work with. So so that's kind of what this does. It really looks at the landscape, and it looks for people with high propensity and showing signals that are looking to make some sort of switch and kind of move it over.
I like that, man. So where do we start with this as far as lead generation? Because that's also, for me, as a still a real estate agent here, I have a concern as to where do I get my online leads from? Like, and we've talked about this before with your other products, right? Facebook leads and
Boost. Yep.
Meta Boost. Yeah. Where do you recommend, or where do you see that that's working? Just to go off a little bit on a tangent.
Sure, no, and I like that because Boost, and this is kind of a kind of an extension of Boost. So what Boost does is it is an online digital presence
Mhm.
for kind of as an add to your listings. When you take a listing, and I know in the past several years, the markets are a little bit different. But as things shift, and I know you're very in tune with the different trends that are going on in Florida and different places where, inventory is rising and there's not enough buyers, or there's a lot more sellers than there are buyers. And so that market's shifting. So the ability to really get that listing out there above and beyond, and really exposing that, beyond what others are doing is going to be more and more important, and a lot of the different markets. So that's really what that's doing, is creating exposure for your brand, creating exposure for listings that you have and that you've taken. Also, it provides some underlying benefits so that your seller knows that you're out there working hard for them. So when you boost a listing, you make sure that the owner hits all of their social as well, so that when they're browsing and doing things, they're like, oh, there's my property. So it just reiterates that you as an agent are getting that out there on the internet. Where this is a little different is the Leads Plus system actually delivers. Well, let me backtrack. On Boost, you might have people that interact. So let's say I go and say, oh, what's the price of this home? It automatically will send you an email and say, hey, this person might be interested. And that's a nice byproduct, but it's not the intent necessarily. The intent is more of an advertising platform that you might stumble on leads and get people with interaction and get people coming through. This is a straight up lead section where you're going to have names of people, emails, and you have things that basically you can tangibly put in the top of your funnel, apply all of your normal follow-ups that you would do, or whatever the process that you have to convert those leads, so that basically you actually have a true ROI on those leads.
I'm going to share something with you just because we're talking about it. And yeah, what's up, Raja, Irvine, Andrea? Oh, you're back again because I couldn't pronounce New Braunfels last time. Texas. Do you know how to pronounce that? New Braunfels.
New Braunfels.
I sucked the last time. I did it again this time. All right. Let me share something with you here, because I think it's important to what you're saying. And that's, can you see my screen here? This is
I do. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So everyone, please pay attention to this, because this doesn't change very often over the last, let's say, 6-7 years. But we've got a new player here. Google, obviously, still there, number 1. YouTube's number 2. These are most visited websites in the world. And to the point of what we're trying to make here, you've got Facebook and Instagram, which are Meta, right? So this is why Boost is important. This is why Meta leads are important. Right? The 3rd and 4th most visited websites in the world, and in the US too, right, are Facebook and Instagram. That's where people go to check out news. Yeah, crazy, unbelievable. But yes, this is true. News. And to check out grandma and grandpa and your Uncle Joe, right? And look at number 5. That's the newcomer, ChatGPT. And then we're going to slowly see ChatGPT take number 4, take number 3, maybe take 2, and who knows, maybe take 1, because a lot of searches now are starting with ChatGPT. But what do they pull from? They pull from here, they pull from here, they pull from here, and they pull from here. So these are all extremely relevant. That's what I wanted to just.
Well, what's funny is too, and it's a great point. We're doing a lot of work on optimizing web traffic. It's no longer like for ChatGPT and for putting out as much content that the LLMs are identifying and picking up all these different clues and really structuring it. So there's a lot of work going in right now to make sure that instead of search engine optimization, it's really AEO. AI optimization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got it. All right, taking us back to this, traditional prospecting still delivers.
Sure, and this is this just goes back to the point. This leads are, there's a lot of different ways that folks get leads, and I know a lot of the leading brokerages and agents, I should say, agent teams, they use this and they do that. If you get a new agent, yeah, door knocking, that's a tried and true process. But happen to be in Dallas, Texas today, and it's 98 degrees and outside, and
Oh,
it's probably not something that you would want to do today.
it's not going to happen today, man.
Referrals, you can do a lot there, and it's always important to keep that going. And that's a very good lead, but at some point those also come to a halt, and it's good to look at an all above approach if you're looking to continue to build that top of funnel activity. Open houses, I think we've talked a little bit about that with Spacio and some of the tools we offer, and with the rule changes where anyone can come in and see an open house without having a buyer broker agreement. And so, that in some ways are increasing, that traffic. And so, that's important as well. But this is really kind of a supplemental to that. And so what we do is we've used a lot of our targeting, a lot of our abilities to identify, again, using signals, folks that are looking to transact, to really drive those leads. What this is basically a turnkey lead generation. It's not a pay at close. So it's not, one of those where they're getting a very high referral fee on, referrals that are being sent in. It is a, market area where you're identifying what market areas that you would want to have leads, and and we deliver a subset of leads on a monthly basis, and that's really
cool.
what it is. There's others out there, so this is a little bit new. I shouldn't say new to us, but we've done this now for the past, 6 or 8 months, a little longer, but we've had a lot of test markets, and we are over delivering every single month on the leads. And so it's that's something that we want to ensure that we keep at a high quality, because basically you don't want, leads is a tricky business, because there's people that say, oh well, that person didn't want to sign a contract today, what's going on? And it doesn't work that way. Those leads you need to put into a process. It's the reason why you have all your CRMs and your all your scheduling and your drip marketing and your programs that you apply. These are just people that are in that, you put into that funnel, and then you just try to drive that conversion. So that's kind of what we have. Supports traditional prospecting. So again, you're putting this in and you can apply those things to that. It does send them to your email and your CRM. So we have a couple different ways. We're working on some, today I think you can take those leads and get them pulled over into your CRM. We have a couple other new ways of doing that as well. As we continue to expand, I don't know if you noticed, we introduced or announced an integration with Follow Up Boss.
I did see that. Yep.
And the reason for that is that a lot of agents use that. A lot of high successful agents use that, but also use some of our other tools. And we want to be able to make sure that they can easily move in and out of the tools that they're used to using.
That makes sense, man.
Yeah. So no, and we have that, we have our own and things like that. So basically, that's it. Keep the full funnel every month. I might take a second here. Maybe it makes sense just to kind of show you what it would look like.
Yeah, I would love to see that, because the other question I have, and let me just go between you and I. The question that I have is, when I'm looking at something like this, I want to pair it with everything else that I'm doing, so that it makes what I'm doing even stronger. So that means if we go back to your OG prospecting, door knocking, open houses, if I can do that in the area that I'm working, and then layer in Leads Plus, right, into that same area, that then gives me better results because more people are seeing me. That's how I would layer this, man. And I'm going to see if I can pull up something that will give a lot more clarity on how we work them, because I like that that you included all of these different things, and you're gonna tell me what you think of this. All right,
Okay.
because we built this one out. We're always tweaking it, and I found it excellent. So I think you're gonna like this. All right, everybody, let me know. I'm gonna steal my own screen, okay, and share screen. Where we go. And all right, tell me you can see this.
Yep. Online lead follow-up.
All right, perfect. So we always add to this. So when I was the largest purchaser of online leads for Realtor.com for 3 years, and it was a ton of money, man. It was a lot of money, too much. And in that, we started exploring later with Facebook, and we would run a lot of lead ads through Meta when it was called Facebook, when they just started. And we started then creating different flows on what we think we should do based on how they show up. And so if I look at this and you're telling me this is more automated, right? The Facebook lead that you're sending is going directly into my CRM. That's where we're at, right?
Mhm.
And they probably answer some questions, and then those get dumped into our CRM. Hey, are you a first-time buyer, or do you need to sell anything, right? Boom. What we add is retargeting to it, but more importantly, this is how we have the biggest success with these leads that are coming through, as we call them conversations. Like, hey, they're conversations. Let's have some conversations. And for us, we know that some of these people are not going to buy in the next week or 2 or 3 or even a few months. The whole goal of interacting with them quickly is to catch them while they're on our website or while we're at least fresh in their minds, so that we can have a conversation with them. I want to know why they're coming out here. I
Yep.
want to know what they're searching for, so I don't spam them, because I want them to enjoy being on our website, right? And so once we start approaching it this way, where number one, we need to get to them super fast, but with absolutely zero pressure,
Yeah.
we start seeing a lot more success.
And I love that. I mean, I know that, like, my dad, I mentioned as a broker, one of his key aspects, even on taking floor calls back then, you would take floor calls before cell phones and things like that. But it was, answering the call in less than 2 rings and making sure that you get somebody that is, that can tell them some things, because a lot of times it's that first positive experience that they have, and letting them know that they care. You care about what they're telling you. You care about what they're looking for, and they might go and explore other options and go different places. But as long as you make that a positive, memorable experience about their first interaction, then there's a high likelihood that they're going to come back to you. And so I love that layering in, making sure, and really it's about helping, increase capture rates, increasing conversion rates. And, so the bigger pool you have, then you just look at each one of those aspects to identify, what might be breaking down, or what do you need? Do you need more top of the funnel? Do you need more conversion? Do you need more, closings? Do you need more, leads, listings? So love that human, experience in there. Once you hit that lead.
Yeah, man.
So I know we only got a couple minutes left, but I do want to, maybe if we have a couple, show you a little bit about.
Yes, I wanted to see it. Shoot.
Sure. So let me just share. Let's see, present, and I'm going to share screen. So this is a little bit newer. Let's do this. Window. I think this is it. There we go. Should be showing my screen here in a second. There we go. Yeah, so this is the just our website. So on lwolf.com engage, there's this leads plus. So if you go on and just click get it now, what happens is it first asks you what type of leads that you're looking to capture. In most cases, buyer, seller, or if you're looking at just one particular. We do use a lot of different algorithms and ways of capturing. Obviously, seller is a different set of data points than a buyer. So there is a little bit of fluctuation in some of the things there and some of the targeting and the pricing. But I'll just use both as an example. It picked up my location today, so I'm in Dallas. But what's maybe a zip code in your area, Tristan?
Let's go with 90265.
265. All right. And so again, this is I certainly did not. Let me see here.
Or we can go with maybe more LA. Let's do. Oh yeah, there you go, Florida. Florida. Or you want to get really crazy? You're going to go to New Braunfels, Texas, with Andrea.
New Braunfels, yeah. Let's see. Zip code. I don't know if I have.
Maybe you don't have internet connection, dude.
There we go. I was sitting too long and I had to do a refresh. But basically, actually, let me go back. What was the one that you? What was the first one you did?
90265.
65. Okay, there we go. All right, so there we'll fly out to Malibu. Got it. So this is just an example, and so here's Malibu. Now I added 2 zip codes. Now this is kind of cool because we do have folks that are doing a lot of referrals, like in Florida and New York, or Florida and different places.
Yep.
So they're actually looking at leads in both locations.
Okay.
Buyers and different ones. But here you have different packages, and basically you have how many leads, and so a small 6 to 10 leads, medium 9 to 15, standard, large, and extra large. So for teams, a lot of them are going with the extra large. Those that have that inside sales or that quick response team that basically can really identify those with higher conversion. But again, it's really simple. That's all there is to it. There is a monthly fee, and I think that, but basically when I hit continue, it just allows you to log in, and then it delivers the leads to you in a dashboard. So you actually have like a dashboard view. And I have that. Let me see here. I'm going to just try to change my screen. And then...
I'll remove that screen.
Okay, yeah. We're doing a lot of screen changing today. Really testing out that new new system, huh?
Yeah, buddy. And sometimes you just have to remove from stage, remove from stage, because it'll just add it like that. You don't want to do that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. Is that what it is? All right. And then I have the last screen that I'm going to show. It's just basically back to my.
Somebody had said, well, what about Miami or Andrea? Thank you. You gave me 78132. New something. New Braunfels. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But every time I see Andrea now, I remember New Braunfels. So now, Andrea, I remember you, Andrea, because I mispronounced your name last time. I'm like, Andre. What's up, Andre? I'm like, oh, that was bad.
Andrea or Andrea, depending on where. But this is like the dashboard, right? So it tells you kind of like your total leads, where they're coming from, seller leads, buyer leads, average leads. You actually have a little hub, and again, you can push those right into your CRM. So I don't have that, but I know a lot of you use different CRMs, and using Zapier is obviously can get them into a lot of them. We do have some connections into others, but again, the whole idea is to generate as much top of the funnel as you can. So,
I love that, man. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We've been running Facebook lead ads, now called Meta lead ads, because it goes not only to Facebook but also Instagram, and lets the algorithm decide where the leads are being pulled from. So we've been using that since it came out. They introduced them in 2015. We used them in 2015, and that is a good chunk of our business. So I love seeing this, man. This is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for Lab Coat agents, we'd love to have you guys join in. We have the offer. I know they have the banner on there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, click on. If you have any questions, you have any concerns or, anything, reach out to us. And yeah, we look forward to continue to the work with you guys. There it is. Nice banner.
Yep. Little banner. We had a QR code earlier, which was super nice, right? As well. But you guys can click on that link whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or here with us. By the way, everyone, thank you for joining us. That was really nice for you spending some time this morning with us or afternoon. What are you doing in Texas, man?
Well, interesting enough, my daughters are in a artistic swimming junior Olympics out here. So I'm spending the week in Dallas and cheering them on when I get some free time.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. I love that. Well, thanks for jumping in from Texas. We appreciate you. Everybody else, thank you for your time. Have an awesome day. If you have questions about Leads Plus, you can go ahead and message me or you can go to that link. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tristan.
Thanks, man.